What is up, YouTube? JankyYGO here. My name is Michael, and today I have some exciting news because I am personally excited for these new Yu-Gi-Oh cards coming out in Selection 10, as the name would suggest, for the OCG pack. And right here you can see we got the Nekroz, Hieratic, Fairy Tale, and Time Thief. So we're just going to get right into the first card, which is Hieratic. I love the Hieratic deck. I have always loved that deck. It is so much fun to play. It can kill you out of nowhere. 10 out of 10 deck. Anyway, Hieratic Dragon, Overlord of Heliopolis. Rank 8 Light Dragon. Xyz effect. 3000 attack. 2400 attack. 2 level 8 monsters. They're still wanting you to try the level 8 Blue Eyes build, which isn't as good in my opinion, but because level 6 just summons one right from the deck. That one's a little bit better. Anyway, once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a card or cards you control in your graveyard and or banished cards, quick effect, you can detach material, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. This seems very niche. There are cards, there are enough cards to make this worth running as a one of, but it's more matchup dependent than anything. Actually, wait, hold on. It says you control. It doesn't just say in your graveyard. Never mind. This card's pretty great. Ignore me. This card's good. It's just another negation, which is something the deck kind of needs. The deck doesn't have any turn 1 plays really. I mean, it can make, since it's a rank 8 version, you can make the Titanic Overlord to negate spells. This will also help make more. You can do that and everything, especially because the Guard Dragon, you don't have access to the broken one anymore. As Heretics, we're using the Guard Dragon for things for a while. But anyway, still a decent card nonetheless for the rank 8 version. Next up, Erratic Seal of Creation. Normal spell card. You can only use its first and second effects of once per turn, and only once that turn. So you can only get one of the effects per turn. So if you use this, you can't use the graveyard effect that turn. So you can target one Xyz Dragon monster you control, special summon from your extra deck one Hieratic Xyz monster with a different original name than the one you control. By using it as material, it is treated as an Xyz summon. Transfer its materials to the summoned monster. Okay, so what this card allows you to do is make a Tum, which is the rank 6, to summon out one of your dragons from your deck, most likely Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Then you use this card to rank up and summon out your negator, and then you can go from there and possibly make 2 negators, because the negating Hieratic isn't hard once per turn. It also allows you to summon out Titanic Galaxy Hope, the one that negates spells, so that you can get on multiple negations with this card. Pretty good overall. Scrolling down, reprint here. Next up, we have a new Nekroz card. Nekroz of Aridbraher. Level 10 Water Warrior effect monster, 3300 attack, 3200 defense. It's a level 10. You can ritual summon this with any Nekroz ritual. Must be ritual summoned without using any level 10 monsters. Most of the high level Nekroz say that. Next up is you can discard this card, tribute up to 2 Nekroz monsters from your hand and or field, and if you do, send the same number of Nekroz from your deck to the graveyard. When a monster effect is activated, quick effect, you contribute 1 monster in your hand, negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. Another negate for the Nekroz deck. Pretty good overall. This allows you to, if you tribute, I believe, Shreet, you still get its effect, because I think it just says if it's tributed. If it has to be tributed by a ritual spell card, I might be misremembering it. But either way, if I am correct with you tributing Shreet and you get the search, you can tribute that, get the search, and then you don't go neg, and you banish your opponent's card. very, very good card for Nekroz. It also sets up your graveyard, which is pretty decent. Nekroz do like their graveyard a little bit. And then more Nekroz reprints. And next up, one of the cards I'm excited for, Fairy Tale Ruksha, which is a Russian fairy tale. And it's about, I believe the Russian fairy tale, I don't know it too well. I know that she's not able to love, really, because she's also known as the Snow Maiden. Anyway, level 4 light spellcaster effect monster, like all the fairy tales are. 1850, like all of them. Same thing with the 1000 defense. Hard once per turn on its first effect. When this card is normal summon, you can make your opponent gain 500 life points. Then they look at the top 3 cards from your deck and pick one of them for you to add to your hand. Also shuffle the rest back into the deck. If this card battles before damage calculation, you can send this card to the graveyard. So the first effect is basically like a Pot of Duality, but you don't have the downside of you're not able to special summon, but the downside is that they get to pick the card. So take that what you will. Giving them 500 life points doesn't really matter. If your deck is built correctly, it shouldn't matter what card that they give you. Just depends. I know if you're playing Fairy Tale, the Fairy Tale deck, you're not really, or like a bunch of Fairy Tales, you're not really like, playing the best deck anyway. So that first effect can be a little iffy. But yeah, the second effect I probably would never really use unless they have something that doubles battle damage to your monster. Like if for some reason they're playing Chaos Max and this card is in defense position, when they attack it, I would rather send it because I would be taking like 6,000 damage as opposed to 4,000. But most of the time, you're just going to want to take the hit, I think. The second effect is probably a lore reason on why they have that effect, so that's it. The next card I'm excited for, because not only is it a Fairy Tale card, but it also works with the Charmer deck, specifically the Familiar Possessed. So, what does it do? This card says it's called just Fairy Tale. There probably is more to it. Continuous spell card. Hard once per turn. On its first effect, you reveal one spellcaster monster in your hand with a different name from the face-up monsters that you control immediately after this effect resolves. Normal summon that monster. That's to help the Fairy Tale deck get its stuff going. But what this also allows you to do is if you have this card in your hand, you can summon Fairy Tale Luna and then search up any of your Familiar Possessed monsters, play this, reveal that the Familiar Possessed that you search, and then you get to summon it. So it allows you to go into rank rank 4s. It allows you to go into your Link monsters in that deck better. If you have the familiars, the big ones, the level 5 that special summon themselves from the deck, you can do that. Overall, really good card for the Familiar Possessed deck. Decent card for Fairy Tales, as they're trying to make it seem like they're forcing that to try to become a real deck. Each time you would take battle damage or effect damage while you control a spellcaster monster with 1850 original attack, you don't. So the first time you would take damage, you just don't. That's pretty neat. Good card for Familiar Possessed. Decent. The only support card really for Fairy Tales. Hopefully we'll get more in this set and in the future. Next up, Time Thief Double Barrel. Time Thief support as well. Level 4 Dark Psychic Xyz effect. 2200 attack and defense. Materials are 2 level 4 monsters, so it's pretty generic. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can detach up to 3 different types of materials from this card and apply the following on what was detached. So, monster gains 400. Spell, you take control of one of your opponent's monster until the end of the turn. But it can't attack or its effects. And its effects are negated. And then its trap, if you detach trap, you can negate an effect monster on the field until end of turn. That trap effect is the big one here, as it will allow you to stop your opponent's plays. The spell one is also not bad. It can disrupt your opponent. The monster one is probably the weakest, and unfortunately that is the one that you will be using the most of. But it does say 3 or more different types, and that's because it's not hard to get more materials on your time thieves. That's kind of what they do. And yeah. So you're gonna want to try to get the spell and traps under it as much as possible. And that is it for today. If it is your birthday today, happy birthday. If you want to send me any cool deck profiles or replays, please do. Which, out of these archetypes, which are you most supported to get new support? Excited Nekroz is getting more support? I know people love the Nekroz deck. Are you like me and excited that Fairy Tales and Hieratics are getting more support? Or are you excited that Time Thieves are getting more support? Personally, I think out of all of them, the fact that Familiar Possessed kind of are getting more support with the Fairy Tale thing, since they both have 1850 and they're all spellcasters, is my favorite part about this. And yeah, that's it. If it's your birthday today, happy birthday. I think I've already said that. But have a wonderful day anyway.